Hey y'all, what's good? It's AmTrades, and today I wanted to come back and kind of talk a little bit about the nuclear outlooks in terms of nuclear energy that we've been seeing come out of the US, Britain, Russia, and the European Union as of late, and especially as of the last week, because a lot of very, very, very cool news has been kind of reached and happened in the last week that I think is very interesting for not only like nuclear stocks, but also just the energy industry in general as it pertains to uranium. So, first of all, the reason that we're saying all this is because if we look at the Sprott Uranium Miners ETF, which is a Canadian, like, kind of aggregate uranium ETF, we can see that yesterday, this is the daily time frame, we had a 10.06% move just off of some very basic macroeconomic news, as well as the price of uranium futures is very, very, very high right now. So we're actually rising as well. And we had a almost 10% move on that as well. We can see we are currently trading at an all-time high for uranium. So these kind of all together were pushed by these three news. For example, BBC, UK, and US. As we know, Trump just made a visit to the UK, and just before his visit, they signed a nuclear deal to encourage nuclear energy, which we saw earlier this year with Meta, as well as a couple different startups starting modular nuclear energy reactors, and pushes for nuclear energy to be redeveloped, as well as 3 Mile Island by Microsoft. And so we see that they are focusing on accelerating the development of nuclear power, and especially of modular nuclear units to power things like AI data centers and other big tech initiatives like that. And so this is one part that pushed it up, as well as this is a Canadian company that supplies the majority of uranium to North America. And they also are a global supplier, as they are one of the only places outside of kind of Eastern political BRICS nations that supply uranium to the US. And they just came under a deal to supply Slovakian plants with enriched uranium for their reactors. And this, again, pushed up prices as they are a part of the Sprott Uranium ETF because they are also a Canadian company. And then finally, we have the US boosting uranium reserves for nuclear power. And this one is more important because they, in the Biden administration, they had tried to establish a uranium reserve, and they asked for $150 million to do so, of which half of that was accepted. So there was a $75 million uranium reserve, which was only about 14 months of uranium to supply. I believe it is about 50 reactors in the United States, and that is only a 14-month reserve, whereas in Russia, it was a 2-year reserve minimum, and in China, who has the majority of the nuclear plants and who have the most bullish outlook on nuclear energy, have a 14-year reserve mandated by the Chinese party for any nuclear supply, right? In terms of enriched uranium. So they need to have a 14-year stockpile to be able to be operational under their policy. So what does that mean for the US, and what does that mean for the price of uranium? The price of uranium is rising exponentially, right? As we've seen, we had the 10% move yesterday, as well as overall on the year, we can see that the uranium index is up about 100%, as well as the price of all of the underlyings, and the price of uranium itself is up quite a lot. So that's also up about 100%. If we look here from the lows of the year, last year in April, we are up 130%. So yeah, moving forward, just keep an eye out. I am very much liking the moves up, and yeah, just keep an eye out.